so I had to cut out all this and all that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't losing weight, but I was eating all the foods I wanted, but I was just making them smaller. And obviously, I eat a lot of vegetables and a lot of
Yeah.
salads and stuff. But if at night time, if I did want, say mashed potato or something, like I had it.
Yeah.
Just had it in moderation. So yeah, just having those 3 main meals and then having like a piece of fruit or
Okay.
in between. That's what I
Yeah. That's really good what you said about you eat whatever you want within reason with like quantity in mind instead of like, oh, this pizza is bad. Well, if you have a whole pizza, it's bad. If you have one slice, not the end of the world, right? So there isn't bad foods. I'm kind of jumping the gun on bad foods, but there isn't bad foods. There's bad quantities. So you can have a little bit of ice cream. Just don't eat the whole tub. And yeah. So Google, the definition of healthy by Google is in good physical or mental condition. All right. So it's very relative and it's subjective. Like everyone's going to have a different opinion. Like a day of eating for an Olympic athlete compared to a day of eating for someone that works in retail. I mean, the definition of healthy might be a bit different, right? So healthy to me would be like all organic foods, like foods from out your backyard that you've got like a lamb, a pig and cows and you've no like pesticides or process or anything. That to me is like the pinnacle of healthy. Like that would be on the top of the end of healthy, and then like down the other end would be like McDonald's. So it's a spectrum, I think. And as long as you're not getting a disease or have some health condition from what you're eating, I mean, you could pretty much call it healthy because you're in good, like what is good condition, right? So, and that's where people, they call, oh, this is healthy or this isn't healthy. It's like, no, it's all healthy, just like in moderation, like you said. So, common food and exercise myths. So I'll just rattle these off, see if anything rings a bell. Detoxing. Have you heard of that? Detox diet or detox juice or detox tea. Most important meal of the day is breakfast. Have you heard that one? Low fat and fat-free options are better than full fat. Is that true? Oh. If it says high protein, then it's good. Like out here we have high protein bar or protein snack or protein cookies. Like, oh, it's good. It's high protein. Ooh. Yeah, and fat. It's a fat and sugar cookie. Fruit is bad for you. Have you heard that? Oh, don't have fruit because that's got a lot of sugar in it and that's going to... It's like, what? Carbs make you fat. Right? People say that, oh, you're eating too much carb. You need to bring your carbs back. Don't eat before bed. Now, this one's kind of grey area because it's like don't eat right before going to bed. Like don't eat and then go to bed straight after, like within 2 minutes. But some people will think, oh, don't eat after 5 p.m. or that's what's making you fat. It's like, no. As long as you're eating throughout the day like a normal amount of meals, like if you're eating 3 times a day and that last meal is an hour, 2 hours before bed, it's not bad to eat before bed, right? There's no difference between eating all of your food before 5 p.m. or eating 75% of your food before 5 p.m. and then having the last 25% after 5 p.m. There's no difference, and studies show that. And then, which kind of goes into the last one here, eating small meals more often is more effective than eating a few big meals. Right? Have you heard that? Like, oh, you got to eat 12 times a day. It's like, no, you don't. Some people like to, but yeah. So, detox, right? So they'll try and, like marketing, they'll try and get you to buy these detox teas and detox juice cleanse and all these. For the most part, the detox part is you're cutting out the other food. So if you go on a juice cleanse and you're on a McDonald's diet, you're going to feel a lot better because you're not eating McDonald's, not because of the juice, right? And anything that's detox is usually a diuretic, which will just flush things out. So I mean, yeah, it's not really true. As long like the seminar I did on detoxing, where you need all the proteins and all these B vitamins and minerals and vegetables, that's how you're actually going to detox properly. Most important meal of the day is not breakfast. It's like I was saying before, it doesn't matter if you skip breakfast and have all your calories after breakfast, or you have breakfast and that's included in your 3 meals a day, or however many times you want to eat. Okay, so what are calories? I've said calories a few times, eating your calories throughout the day. So a calorie is a unit of energy. So think of calories like money. So if you want to save money, if you want to look in your bank account and see you've got money, and you make $2,000 a day, so you know, minimum wage, $2,000 a day, and every day you spend $1,500. So at the end of the week, you're going to have $3,500 in your bank account. So think of money that you've saved as fat you've burnt off. Right? Does that make sense? And if you go into debt, so even though you're making $2,000 a day, that's a lot, and you're spending $2,500 a day, that's even more. So at the end of the week, you're going to be $3,500 in debt. So that debt is fat. So any extra calories or money that's being put on is going to be stored as fat. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So the standard amount of calories for girls is about 1,500, 2,000. For guys, it's 2,000 to 2,500. And when you look at nutrition labels, they'll say, usually in Australia it's kilojoules, I don't know why. Most of them have calories as well, and they're about 10% off, give or take. So it's not gospel, like whatever's written on it. It's not specific. So it's 10%, give or take. So the breakdown of calories, you've got proteins, carbs, and fats. Does everyone know? Heard of those things, right? So protein and carbs, 1 gram, is going to equal 9 calories. Not 9 calories, 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is going to be 9 calories. So the fat, right? Low fats. The lower the fat, the lower the calories usually, because fat is just way more calories. Like a tablespoon of butter or oil is going to be just as much as having like 3 whole potatoes. Maybe not that much, maybe 2 potatoes. But it's like, be careful of your oils and when you eat out, because the fat is going to have a lot more calories. And then you've also, so they're the main ones. They're where you get all your calories from. You're not going to get many calories from if you had vegetables. Vegetables have a lot of micronutrients like vitamins and minerals, which is what we need to detox and feel good, have energy, be hydrated, which is so important, and fiber as well. So make sure you have fiber so you're pooping every day. Okay, number 4. What is the best diet? What do you think the best diet is? Is there a best diet? No, the one that works for you. Yep. So the best diet is the one that you're going to stick to. So it's a spectrum here as well. So you've got vegan, so you've got plant-based, no meat, no nothing. And then you've got vegetarian, so you eat some meat. And then you've got the paleo, which is my kind of favorite diet, my foundation. That's just no processed. That's a good mixture of meat and vegetables and whatever you want really. As long as it's from the ground or it's from an animal, it's paleo. And then you've got your keto, so that's less vegetables and less carbs, and that's just all protein and fat. So you don't actually need carbs. And this diet, you just only eat proteins and fats. So you have bacon for breakfast, and you eat like just steak every meal, and you lose a lot of weight just because you're cutting out all of your carbs. And then the other end of the spectrum is you only eat meat. So it's called the carnivorous diet. Have you heard of that? We only eat meat. Yeah, it's crazy. Right? And then in between all of that is if it fits your macros. So like I was talking about with the calories, if we work out your calorie intake a day is 2,000 calories, you can mix and match whatever foods you want, right? As long as you're hitting your calories, you're not going over, you're not going into debt, you're going to be saving money or maintaining. So that's where if it fits in macros comes in, and you can literally eat donuts and lose weight, which is crazy. So there's no best diet. You're the best diet for what, right? What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to lose weight? Okay, then maybe a diet that's going to give you some form of restriction will be good for you. But will that restriction cause you to binge eat? We don't know.
So if you're eating what you want but in moderation, you're not having those cravings.
Exactly. Which is what you dealt with.
So I'd be like craving chocolate, so I'll go eat a bar of chocolate.
Yeah.
If I'm having it in moderation, well, then I'm actually having it, and like
You don't feel like you're missing out on it.
No, but it's the one thing I've changed my diet and it worked.
Yeah. It's what Georgia does here, one of the trainers. She literally weighs out, she buys like 5 different blocks of chocolate and she'll have like one piece from each block of chocolate. As long as she weighs it and she like tracks it, I'm like, why? I cannot do that. Like I cannot have just one. I'm just going to eat all vegetables and protein, and then like maybe once a week I'll have more chocolate, but yeah. Okay, so all of these diets have positives and negatives. Like I was talking about before, some are really restrictive, but you'll lose a lot of weight. So pros and cons. And some, like if it fits your macros, they're not restricted. So you're going to eat like lots of different things and you can't really track. Because like I was saying, especially if you're eating out, some of the calories can be off by 50% or 10%, even the ones from the store. They'll be off and you can't really track it because it's all inconsistent. You're not getting a consistent number. Okay, so 6 out of 7 people who start a diet will lose weight. So that's pretty good odds. How many of those, in a percentage, in 3 years, how many will keep that weight off, do you think? So 6 out of 7 people lose weight when they start a diet, and then in 3 years' time, how many have kept their weight off? 10%. So 90% of people will put it all back on, which is crazy. And this is a bit of a rabbit hole, but I think it's super interesting. When you like starve yourself and you lose a lot of weight, your body goes into like some sort of starvation mode. So when you finally do, you're like, oh, cool, it's my wedding day. I get to eat 10 kilos of hamburgers and lasagna and pizza, whatever I want, ice cream, beer. And then your body's like, oh my God, I'm not starving anymore. I'm gonna store it because I've just been starving for 2 weeks to trying to lose all this weight. And now you're basically preparing your body to store all of the fat. So yeah, so you get fatter, which is not good. So what are the best foods and exercises to lose weight? Are there best foods and exercises, do you think?
I feel like cardio is pretty good for
Cardio?
weight loss, but also weights. I feel like weights are also beneficial as well.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone's different, I guess.
Yeah, so weights, we'll do the exercises. So cardio, let's say we're talking about the money again, right? So yeah, we'll use the money analogy. So say I run a business and I want to make $1 million in a year, right? Cardio is like doing a little fundraiser, like a one-time off event. So I want to make $1 million this year. I'm going to go host a big fundraiser. Cool, I've had a very successful one, raised $100,000. What's going to happen tomorrow if I don't do another fundraiser? How much money do I make? $0, right? But weight training is actually going to make you earn money from doing absolutely nothing. So weight training is like setting up a business, like having a house and renting it out. So you're just doing nothing, you're just constantly making money, because the more muscle you grow from weight training, the more calories you're going to be burning. So think about your car. The more mods you do to your car, the bigger your engine, the bigger your tires, the more weight on your car, the more petrol you're going to be burning. So you need to put more petrol in the car. But if you don't put petrol in the car, then it's going to run out. Does that make sense? That's like a bad analogy because petrol costs money, but we don't have to pay money to lose weight. So, but yeah. Positives and negatives. The example I used in here is like with the fundraisers, like HIIT training. So people love HIIT training. Like I just do 2 weeks HIIT training every day, just smash it. You're going to lose a ton of weight just because every day you're burning an extra 500 calories. But what happens when you stop doing the HIIT training?
Yeah.
It's just going to come back on, and
I think a lot of people more look at cardio as probably more fitness-wise.
Yeah, exactly.
But when people do want to lose weight, be.
Yeah.
They go more into what actually will benefit them.
Exactly.
For what they want.
Yeah.
Because I will not do cardio unless like I show you. I do it literally just for fitness more.
Yeah. Yeah, really good for heart health and stress.
Yeah.
Really good for stress. Yeah, nasal breathing cardio. Okay, so in terms of food, are there good foods, right? So it's a spectrum. There's no one good superfood that's going to cover all your bases. A variety is much more important than just eating grass-fed beef mince. Like I would much rather, instead of only eating grass-fed organic beef mince, have, store-bought chicken, turkey, pork, like just a variety of everything, even though that isn't more processed. It's better than eating the same thing over and over because your body will become sensitive to it and you'll develop an allergy, which isn't good. So if we are going to say there are good foods, like my good foods are foods that make you feel full. The best food to make you feel full is protein. They've done studies, which I have linked, is that they've had like 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight of protein, so like a lot of protein, and they've become more, you feel more satiated, you feel more full, keeps you fuller for longer, and you also get the benefit of stimulating muscle growth. So you're going to put on more muscle, which will in turn burn more calories, right? So you're hitting a lot of birds with one stone there. And then starchy carbs like rice, potatoes, quinoa, like fibrous vegetables, things like that, they're just going to make you feel full. I know, does anyone have like oats for breakfast? Yeah? And you just feel full for very long because the fiber. So, number 6 is the good one. How do we increase our chances of losing weight and keeping it off forever? There's a few things. We want to create a plan. Okay, so what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to lose 10 kilos for your wedding? Okay, probably should have started a while ago, or like, let's put things into perspective. So create a plan, like when do I want this? How do I want to get it? And define your goals. Like write it down on paper and then come up with a method of achieving those goals. Right? So if you don't write your goal down, it's a fantasy. If you don't have a way of getting to that goal, it's a fantasy. It's just in your head. Oh yeah, I want to make $1 million. Okay, cool, good thought. But if I wrote it down, okay, I need to make this much money each week or each day. You could break it down into each day, each hour, each session. Like, holy shit, I need to charge a client $4,000 a session to make $1 million. I don't think that's going to work. Sorry, guys. So, and then you break that big goal down into small chunks, right? So increasing physical activity, so called your NEAT, your non-exercise thermogenesis, which is a fancy word for just saying use the stairs or walk to work, or like just walk more, park your car further away, all that little things that just keep you moving. Use a meal plan of some sort. So any diet that you choose to follow, use a meal plan. So even yourself, write out, okay, I think we've all seen those charts you put on the fridge and you're like, Monday, Mitchell's cooking spaghetti, and then Tuesday, Matt's going to be making lasagna, and then like you just write it down, I'm having this, and that's also going to help you with decision making. You're making less decisions so you can spend more time on the harder decisions, which is another rabbit hole, is people who make a lot of little tiny decisions spend less time on like the big decisions. So like, do I want to propose to my girlfriend? It's like you don't know if it's a yes or a no, because you've been spending your whole time telling employees if they should update the Excel spreadsheet on 2016 accounts or something, because you've just been, making all these little decisions. Anyway, so make less decisions, make a meal plan that you can stick to. Restrict your eating in some way, so any form of restriction. So like I was saying about those diets before, like vegan, vegetarian, carnivorous, you lose a lot of weight just because you're restricting an entire food group. Like if you go vegan and you stop eating all meat, you can't eat anything. Like there's nothing to eat except Oreos and spinach, right? So you're just going to lose weight. But you want to do it in a sensible way. So restriction doesn't have to be food, it can be timing. So maybe skipping breakfast or not eating after 5 p.m., which is fine. Your food choices, so like I was saying, maybe eat out less. That's the first one I'll look at. How often are you eating out? Let's pull that back. Oh, you have more money? Okay, cool. Meal frequency, so eating less often. You don't need to be eating 10 times a day. Meal size as well, so portion control. So a lot of the time we'll eat to make ourselves feel full rather than eating until we don't feel hungry anymore.
See, that's the thing. So myself and my partner always go to grill, and because he's a personal trainer, he was watching what I was eating, and he cut my burger in half. He said, "Eat this half first." And then I got really snobby. I'm like, "No, I don't want to eat it all." And I ate half, and he goes, "Are you hungry?" And I'm like, "Yes," but I wasn't. Like, I was so full. It just shows how much we really, like, we look at something.
We're pigs.
We don't need to be eating so much that we are full. You just need to, make sure you're not hungry anymore. Kind of.
Exactly.
Sometimes if you just wait that little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's you said, just wait. So it really shows how much you do overeat as much as you want to eat a full burger, but you don't need it.
Oh, no. Yeah. I think the French, every time I go out to eat with my nana, she like leaves half her food, which I love. I'm like, yeah, cool. And she always says, oh, you should eat until you feel like 20% full or something. There's some saying, or 8, yeah, probably. Yeah. Right. Okay. Other things. Be compliant. So the number one key to success in losing weight is being compliant. So if you write your goal down and you're compliant to it, you follow what you've said you're going to do, chance of success, pretty good. So avoid distraction. Okay, so maybe going out, that's a distraction because everyone's like, oh, have a drink, have some food, stay up late, all this stuff. So other distractions would be all the chocolate and things you have around the house. So that's a distraction. Try and clear it. Okay, my goal is to lose 10 kilos. How do I lose 10 kilos? Okay, eat less chocolate. Okay, I'm going to go to the cupboard, get rid of all the chocolate. So things like little distractions. So focus on your goal and be accountable to yourself, or find a group, find a PT, find a friend, find whatever, your family, to keep you accountable to it. So I've heard a million different things about like goal setting, and have you heard like don't tell everyone about what you're trying to achieve? Or some people say, yeah, tell everyone because then they're going to keep you accountable. It's like the reasoning behind not telling everyone, being like, oh, I'm going to make $1 million, is because people will stop, oh, that's really good. Yeah, you will make $1 million. Good work. And you're already being like gratified for not even achieving your goal. You're just saying like, okay, yeah, cool. But if you keep it quiet and you only tell a couple people, then you're like, makes you want to work harder for it anyway. But yeah, just be around people that keep you accountable. Oh, did you go out? Okay, yeah. That's not good. Like, don't you want to lose weight? And they'll keep you on track. Meal prep. So this is the other thing. This would be number 2. So be compliant and meal prep. It's going to make it so much easier. At the start of your week, you plan what you're going to eat, and then literally each one meal a day is already prepared for you. You've got a fridge full of pre-packed meals and they're ready to go, and you just like, oh, I'm hungry, go to the fridge, pull it out and you eat it. There's no decision making, you just eat it right away. That's like the number 2 thing for losing weight and keeping it off. Because we all have those days where we just feel like bleh and we're like, I don't want to cook, let's go on Uber Eats, or let's have this quicker meal that's easy to make. Like I know my brother makes 2-minute noodles and stuff but if he makes his meals and he has them in the fridge, firstly, it's going to taste a lot better and it's going to be a lot better for you. So meal prep. Okay, then the last thing is measure as much as you can. Okay, so I know I get you guys to track a lot, and at first it can be overwhelming, but once you get into the hang of it, it's like just second nature. It becomes a habit. So tracking your weight, your food, your body measurements, photos, how you're sleeping, your mood, your energy. Because if you can't measure it, You can't improve at it. So it's like in business. If you want to be a successful business and make more money, if we're saying success is making more money, getting more reach, how do you make more money? Do you think they track their incomes and expenses? Definitely, right? Am I making more than I'm spending? Okay, cool. So when you're tracking your weights and your food, you can look at line the two up and be like, okay, I'm eating this many calories and I've gained this much weight. Oh, I actually want to lose weight. Okay, I'm going to eat less calories and see how I go next week. Oh, I'm losing weight now. Cool, I'm going to stay on this many calories. And that way you can actually visualize it and you can see. So, losing weight is like making money, like I said. So, actually, this is a good point. So losing weight is like making money. Back on the money, the business, right? So some people are born with money, right? They're born into Bill Gates' family. And some people have to work really hard for it. Does that make sense? So we'll look at these people, they're eating McDonald's every day. It's usually like the 20-year-old girls. They have like the best body. They eat McDonald's every day. They don't even work out. Like, what's going on? God hates me. It's like, no, they were just born with it. Sorry to tell you, but genetics exists. And maybe, usually those girls, they're called skinny healthy or skinny fat. And the McDonald's you see them eating is the only meal they eat in every 3 days or something like that. So, but usually it is genetics. So don't beat yourself up. It's hard work and it doesn't come easy. So you need to keep working at it. And with every positive, there's a negative, remember. So if you do want to lose weight, it's not going to be all positive. It's going to suck. You're going to have some sort of restriction. You're going to have to go to sleep early. You're going to have to track things. And once you wrap your head around that, you'll be like, okay, it's good with the bad. And then you can be like, okay, I want to lose weight. It's going to suck because of this, this, and this. I'm not going to be able to eat out as much. I'm not going to be able to eat as much chocolate. I'm going to have to go to bed early. It means less Netflix. Oh my God. And then it becomes less of a fantasy and an actual goal that is achievable. Because once you've written out all of the negative things, it stops becoming a fantasy. A couple of weeks ago, I was saying you set a goal, and we just use the $1 million again. And if I say I want to make $1 million, then you're okay, cool. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to have a car. I'm going to travel. Blah blah blah. And I'm not thinking of the negatives, like how much tax will I have to pay if I'm making that much money? How much, responsibilities? If I have a business that's making that much money, how much responsibility am I going to have? I'm going to have employees. I literally have these people's life. There's a lot of negatives. And the more negative things you come up about it, the more it becomes an actual goal and less of a fantasy. It's like, do I really want, 35 to 100 people's lives in my hands? Right? So make behaviors that will help you lose the weight. Make the behaviors you need to lose the weight a habit. Right? So what is the behavior I need to lose 10 kilos in 12 months? It is to track my food, weigh myself, take progress photos, go to the gym, meal prep. So 5 things. If you've never done those 5 things before, the first few times you do them, they're just going to be a random behavior. It's like, okay, I'm just going to go for a walk. If you make going for a walk a behavior, not a behavior, a habit, and you just do it subconsciously, all those things become habits. You're not going to have to think about it. So like I was saying with the decisions, less decisions you make because they're unconscious habits, and you're just going to lose weight. Thank you. Does that make sense? I kind of jumbled it around, but a behavior and a habit. Does that make the difference between a behavior and a habit make sense? Yeah. Because it's like if someone's super smart, they don't just, some people can be super smart and not read any books, but usually we'll just use reading books or talk to a lot of people. They don't just, I feel like I'm going to read today. It's like, no, they probably just want to read. It's just a habit. And they just got to learn and retain all that information. Same with fat loss and the money. I kept using the money analogy because I think it just makes so much sense. And it comes with anything. You want to be successful at reading, What do you have to do? Read more. What is a habit of being a good reader? Well, you read a lot. What is a habit of being healthy and a good body weight and something you're happy with? Like, okay, eating good food and going to bed and going to the gym. Like, so if you're not doing all those things and you're overweight, okay, make those things a habit. It'll probably just come naturally.
A lot of people want a quick fix though.
Mm.
These days. So I even,
Weight loss key.
yeah, people at my work even say, well, they look at you and they say, oh, you're lucky though because you're tall.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just think, no, I actually work hard for what
Yeah.
I do.
They think
No,
you were
they don't
born
really-
with rich parents.
Well, they just think because they're shorter or something.
Yeah.
Taller, you got longer bodies for it. But
Yeah.
they're still people that are overweight, you know, like it's more that you know, taking control of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really a good point. And everyone today wants that. I want that in 6 weeks. But everything you've done in that 6 weeks, they're just behaviours. As soon as the 6-week challenge is over, all those behaviours are gone.
I told my boss whose way it goes, he's a doctor, but he's very smart, knows everything, but there's weird diets he goes on.
Yeah.
He's all this way and he looks so thin and then all the patients going, oh, is he alright? He looks and now he's going back slightly back. On weight. But he's stressed, so when he's really stressed. So he's stressed at the moment. So what did he do? I couldn't find him at one stage. He went out and bought some treats for everybody.
Oh, no.
This shop was delicious or something down Kangaroo Road and bought all these little, you know, nice sweet things.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, but that's diets are just, yeah. And at my work, I think there's about 6 different diets going at the moment.
Wow, yeah.
So I just think,
That boss with bringing in the treats is like the perfect example of someone.
he wants to eat it.
Yeah.
He says, oh, you guys have some.
Yeah. So he's trying to make himself feel better.
Yeah.
Well, he clearly values eating sweets, right? Which isn't bad. Like we were saying, you can eat sweets and still be healthy. But if eating sweets isn't part of your values, then you're going to be going off track to what he wants you to do. You might as well be coming in, oh, have a cigarette. I love smoking. Here you go. And you're like, oh, okay.
What are called like feeders? Do you know people like
Wait, what? You do not have a feeder at work, do you?
Yes. Yeah, she tries to like feed everyone.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like she had a boyfriend at home and she was feeding. Okay.
Just tries to
She
follow.
tried. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she probably doesn't feel good about herself. And it can be very, like once you come to that realization, like when people are doing that to you, like they're trying to pressure you into things, like, okay, no thanks. And this is where meditation comes in. Okay, yeah, I noticed that you want me to do this. Actually, no, that's not. The last time I had a donut from you, I didn't feel good. Okay, no thanks. And then you feel so much better. And they're going to be like, oh, okay. Like, very rarely, and it does happen, someone will offer you chocolate or a cake or whatever, and you're like, no thanks. And they'll be like, oh, come on, just eat. Like, that. It happens sometimes. But most of the time, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand that, it's unhealthy. And usually if they're trying to force you to eat it, they're just like misinformed or I don't know. So you notice that people are trying to pressure things on you. So then you're like, shit, am I trying to pressure things onto other people? Like I know with me, I'm just trying to pressure the shit out of like getting everyone to meditate because I love it so much. Oh shit, maybe meditation isn't a part of everyone's values. How can I align it better? And it just gives you more awareness.